Greetings to you this morning. My name is Adi Yinko, Professor, speaking from a Color Nation today. And today is the 18th of July 2023, as of this day when this video was recorded. Just want to elaborate with you basically what I perceive is going to happen to our world very in a process of time. What I actually understood from the scriptures is that Israel is the capital of the world. Basically, it's where we get all the information about how the world works according to the true and living creator of the world. So we get all our Judeo-Christian laws and principles from Israel, and that's what the Gentiles use to rule the world. We obviously have those people who are of Abraham's descendants who have not actually accepted the gospel of Jesus Christ yet, who actually worship a Abrahamic religion, which is kind of like Judaism and Islam, and also Christianity, also in the Middle East. This is where our religions of our world actually come from. The main religions of the world, which I'll repeat to you, is Christianity, Islam, and possibly Judaism. So, for what I can see is that our economies are going through a time of conflict within the nations, which can actually escalate over to a fiscal war if an agreement has not been made among the nations. We got this term actually called competitive advantage. Competitive advantage is the ability of a country to produce a product with its resources at the lowest price possible compared to other nations. So that means that if they have a resource like chocolate, for example, and they're able to make it into like cocoa, for example, and the nation is able to make it into a chocolate, then that chocolate from that nation, it depends on how that chocolate sells, because at a very low price, you will normally get a very high demand, depending on the forces of demand and supply. But normally, with a low price, if you make a product very well, that's actually appealing to the consumers, then you're able to reap a lot of profit from it, because your price is very low. The cost of production that you use to produce that chocolate is very low. And we can also see the competitive advantages that nations actually have with their resources. That we can see for West Africa, the soil is conducive enough for them to actually produce cocoa, and other places in Africa as well. There's different places that are very conducive to produce certain products, and also with the oil countries from I think the Organization of Economic Oil, something like that, I can't remember. Those people can produce oil at a very low price, because basically their accessibility to oil is very high. So basically the foundations of the world is actually created on the fertility of the land. And when we are looking at Israel, whereby Israel was supposed to come from Egypt to Israel, and God said that this is going to be a land of milk and honey, God was actually talking about the fertility of the land of Israel. Israel was called to be a lender to nations. And even right now, people actually testify that Israel's land is still fertile, and it still actually controls most of the things that happens in the world. That's why the Jews are very rich. The Jews actually have all the powers in the world, and the Jews are one of the top guys who are actually one of the billionaires, the most highest billionaires in the world. Now, the problem with this is that ever since coronavirus, the tide has been changing. The change of gods from one nation to another has been changing, and I'm actually still doing my research into this. But what I can see right now is that this is God's heavenly call for people to separate from one another. God is actually drawing out people from among people, because this kind of like egotistical craving for power cannot be disintegrated anymore, because people have actually relied so much on the resources that they have that they're now attached to the resources and they cannot let it go. So what God is actually doing for some of the people of God is that He's taking away some of the things that they own away from them so that they can be able to rely on Him solely for everything that they actually go to get or actually go to own. So God can actually give that back to you the way how He wants to give it back to you. It's actually very good to say that in Psalm 37, we have desires, but it's actually us actually delighting in the Lord and putting our joy in the Lord that He'll be able to give us the desires of our heart. And we're not supposed to fret so much because you see God is a God of discipline, and before He's able to give us anything that we actually have to own, He has to take us through a process so that we can be able to manage those things, so that those things don't destroy us. Instead of us, we actually rely on the relationship with God for those resources. So you see, with the economic crisis that's going on right now, countries like Kenya, you got like the BRICS nations, they're all dividing up. They're all not actually not coming together as a cooperative commonwealth of Israel to be able to cooperate with one another, do trade with one another. Right now they're separating into different trade blocks. And this is actually significant of what's actually being known right now as an economic war. And basically, if nations are, if the main empire of the world is not going to have power anymore, and they don't want to relinquish power, then basically there's going to be a fiscal war. And we can actually see that it's going to be in form of a world war to actually take back power for people who are actually rebelling against the leading empire of the world. And the leading empire of the world is America. But obviously we know that America is going through a lot of confusion right now with its policies and with the person who's ruling America right now, with the validation of the homosexual community, abortion, impropriety with finances and financial abuse. America is going through a lot, which is going to actually sign off as its decline as the leading empire of the nations. And right now, what we are looking for is a new leading empire of the nations right now. We do not know who that may be. Maybe China, Russia. We don't know what that would be right now. Or maybe it might be Israel again. But we can see that God's hand is actually being removed from so many places, that God is not actually supporting most of the things that's going on in some nations anymore because of the direction that they're taking to actually rebel against Him. And one of the nations of that is actually America or Britain or all these kind of nations. So God is now looking for a new nation to actually lead the world as an empire until the times of the Gentiles is actually totally complete. And then the new empire of the world, or the new capital of the world, will go back to Israel again. So this is what we actually are sensing right now. I'm just giving you some cues to be able to open up your eyes and discern what is actually happening. Unless this economic crisis gets averted or gets resolved the right way, it's inevitable that we're going to have a world war. And I think that world war actually first start with civil wars against the moral conflicts that we have between nations regarding the way how we teach our children, the desecration of family, the abuse of the church, the abuse of finances. There's going to be some kind of civil war that will kind of draw away the people who want to support God away from those people who want to go over to destruction. I leave you with the scripture today. This is in Proverbs, I think Proverbs chapter 20, but I'll put it over here. It says, good judgment brings favor, but the way of the treacherous or the unfaithful or the wicked leads to destruction. Also, what this also says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, for this cause, God will actually send a strong delusion so that those who actually delight in wickedness shall be deceived and shall be deluded, and they will actually be given over to destruction. I actually just paraphrase that to you right now. So basically, those scriptures is actually showing what's going to happen at the end of time, at the end of this age. We're entering into a new age right now. So what we're actually saying right now is that people should begin to be prepared to actually move into this new age, and also get serious with your relationship with God as well in this time as well, because we're in forever fried. Thank you very much for listening to this video today. God bless you today, and you take care.